Hello everyone, and welcome to my CSU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Savannah Chrisley reveals near-jail experience after customs revelation. I was sweating bullets. On the Tuesday, November 18th, episode of her podcast, Unlocked, the 28-year-old celebrity asked her dad, Todd Chrisley, "Should we tell my story about how I almost went to jail?" Todd, 56, joked that he would prefer to avoid discussing family members' jail time, subtly referencing his own past. The Chrisley patriarch, along with his wife Julie, faced a combined 19-year federal prison sentence for tax evasion, bank fraud, and conspiracy before being pardoned by President Donald Trump in May. Despite Todd's quip, Savannah launched into her customs story. She explained that travelers need to declare overseas purchases, which she did. "So, I didn't know, and this is just a PSA for people," Savannah noted. "When you are traveling, you have to declare if you make purchases overseas, which I did." Savannah described the customs process, detailing how agents inquire about spending during international trips. She admitted to providing an estimate since tracking spending across multiple countries can be tricky. "I gave them a number, and I didn't know it was this serious," she revealed. After giving her estimate, an agent told her it didn't match the receipts she had provided. "Keep in mind, I handed all my receipts to them and the products." And he goes, "Your number is far off," she recalled. In a panic, Savannah apologized and explained she wasn't really keeping track of her expenses across 4 or 5 different countries. The agent threatened to confiscate her newly bought items and impose a $10,000 fine. "I was sweating bullets," Savannah said, sharing that her brother Grayson and his girlfriend, Skylar, were amused by her distress. "I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go to prison right now. Now this is not fun," Savannah added. Todd downplayed her fears, reminding her, "You're not going to prison for that." Nonetheless, Savannah argued she could have faced detention, but he reassured her that the customs process was not prison. Eventually, Savannah spoke with another agent who was very nice and helped resolve the issue. Curious, she asked about seized items and learned that agents often confiscate bizarre finds like a taxidermied lion and even drugs. "I was freaking out. If I had gotten my stuff confiscated, you would have seen me on the news," she joked. Despite the nerve-wracking experience, Savannah ultimately enjoyed her trip, particularly her time in Amsterdam and Florence. Read more at OK. Get OK's biggest scoops and scandals delivered right to your inbox. Sign up now. Follow OK on WhatsApp here. Stay across all the latest in celebrity, entertainment, and pop culture via our WhatsApp channel. No comments, no algorithm, and nobody can see your private details. Savannah Chrisley has never been one to shy away from telling the raw, unfiltered truth, even when it paints a less than glamorous picture of her life. But her latest revelation sent shockwaves through Chrisley Nation as she opened up about a terrifying incident that nearly landed her in jail during a routine international trip. The 27-year-old reality star, podcast host, and beauty mogul admitted that she experienced the most panic I've ever felt after a customs blunder spiraled wildly out of control. It all began when Savannah returned home from a quick getaway, a rare moment of escape in the midst of juggling custody of her siblings, her parents' legal battles, and the never-ending pressure of public scrutiny. The trip was peaceful, rejuvenating, and exactly what she needed until she reached U.S. Customs. "I thought it would be in and out," Savannah shared with a humor-tinged exhaustion during her podcast, Unlocked. "I had my passport, my luggage, my declaration form, everything. Or so I thought." What she didn't realize was that a small, overlooked item in her bag would ignite a storm of confusion, interrogation, and gut-wrenching adrenaline. And, according to Savannah, it all happened so fast that she barely had time to understand what she was being accused of. "Next thing I know, 2 officers pulled me aside," she said. "I swear I thought one of them was about to handcuff me right there." The officers escorted her to a secondary inspection room, sterile, intimidating, and freezing cold. Savannah's heart raced as she tried to piece together what could possibly be wrong. She wasn't carrying anything illegal, she didn't violate any travel restrictions, and she certainly didn't think she'd done anything worth detaining her over. But the real shock came moments later, when an officer held up the culprit, a small, sealed container buried deep inside her cosmetics bag, something Savannah had completely forgotten about. It was a skincare product, nothing crazy, she insisted. But the ingredients on the label apparently triggered some kind of alert. The product contained a restricted botanical extract that, according to customs regulations, had to be declared due to agricultural import rules. Savannah had breezed past the question on her form, never even thinking her moisturizer could land her in hot water. And that's when the situation escalated. They asked if I'd brought anything else I was hiding, Savannah said, rolling her eyes in disbelief. And I'm like, sir, the only thing I smuggle is lip gloss. But they weren't exactly in the mood for jokes. Officers began searching her belongings, meticulously, thoroughly, and methodically. And while Savannah is known for her cool confidence, she admitted her nerves were shredded. For a split second, I started spiraling, she confessed. I'm thinking, oh great, Chrisley goes to jail again. People are gonna think it runs in the family. Her attempt at humor masked the deeper emotional undercurrent. After watching her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, get sentenced and taken away, anything involving law enforcement or the word detained opened up a raw wound she still carries. It was triggering, she admitted softly. I'm trying to take care of my siblings, stay strong, keep my life together, and suddenly I'm in this room being grilled like I'm some criminal. It was overwhelming. The ordeal lasted nearly an hour, though for Savannah, it felt like days. Officers questioned her travel details, examined her documents, and scrutinized her story. At one point, she said an official even hinted that the restricted item could qualify as a transport violation, depending on interpretation of the rules. That was when I really thought, oh no, this cannot be happening, she said. I'm envisioning myself calling my lawyer, calling my nanny, calling the media, just trying to figure out how I would even explain all this. Eventually, after what felt like a personal nightmare she couldn't wake up from, the officers concluded that the violation was minor, unintentional, and not worthy of further action. Savannah was free to go, shaken but relieved. But the experience left her with a new perspective. I've always been careful, but after this, I'm triple-checking every bag, every bottle, every ingredient list, Savannah said. I don't care how good the product is, if I'm not 100% sure it's allowed, it's staying home. She also didn't hesitate to poke fun at herself in hindsight. Only I could almost get arrested over moisturizer, she laughed. Leave it to me to make skincare stressful.